All right. So we just got finished with episode 4, which was the first live eviction of the season. Um, Spoiler alert, right? So we kind of predicted
Yeah.
that was going to happen, right?
Yeah, yeah, we both predicted Travis was going to be evicted today.
Yep.
Um,
I kind
he
of felt
went
like
in.
I thought he kind of had a fighting chance though, like in the middle of the episode. I mean, we'll like recap it, but there was a moment where I thought maybe he could flip the votes and then stay, but it just wasn't there. So
I mean, he tried. You can
he did
definitely
try.
see his tries.
Yep, he definitely did. But I mean, that's just the nature of the game. Someone has to go. So
Yeah, somebody has to be
um,
first. Unfortunately, it was him.
yeah. So okay, so what happened at the beginning? So um,
So,
veto was used.
opening
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
opening statement from Julie was very entertaining because it just summed up what we have felt for like the last 2 days. Even
Right,
her, she was like, it's chaotic. He's just everywhere. I mean, she even noticed it, so it was pretty funny to
right,
see her opening statement as that.
right. And it is just weird because it's like he doesn't notice it. But I mean,
Right, like
it's weird.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody else has seen it but himself because I think he thinks that he's in a good position going into week 2, when in reality he
Right,
really isn't.
right, right. That's why I'm like, okay, hold on. Like, so it started off with him. So I mean, we're not obviously gonna trash the live feeds or the edit, right? But the alliance that we saw being formed today, we kind of knew about for days already, right? Like almost a week ago.
Yeah, like that. I hopped onto the live feeds like last Friday, and all the things that were happening today I had already
Right,
seen last Friday, so they were like
right.
really behind.
I thought that they were just maybe like I honestly thought that it was just edited out and that they weren't gonna talk about it. But then I guess there's like a storyline that needs to be created along with the feed because I felt like they were making it like if Francis still has a shot at redeeming himself kind of thing. You know what I mean? I felt like he made that alliance last week when he first got HOH, but they made it seem like he's making this alliance after the veto, which was so confusing because I was like, wait, what? And he got like most of the house right. Like
Yeah,
he got like a bunch of people in that alliance, which was like so messy.
I mean, and what's funny about this alliance is that nobody in this alliance sees the legitimacy of the alliance.
Right.
They're
They're
all
agreeing
very
with it.
sketchy. I think the only one that I feel like really believes it's an alliance is Alyssa, and I think the only reason she thinks that
I
was
don't
because
even
she was
think
on the block.
Alyssa. I don't
No,
even
I
think
think
so.
so because in a confessional that she did in the diary room, she was
Right.
hoping that the alliance stuck together so she could have
Right.
the votes to stay, which in reality they did. So I do think
Right.
that she, for a little point in time, she believed this alliance was an actual thing.
I don't know. I think that she, the way I took it as, and obviously we took it a different way, but I took it as she thought that it was the perfect timing for her to rally the vote without really having to rally the vote, if that makes any sense. So she got thrown into this alliance with all of these people, and it was assumed that they would all vote to keep Alyssa since she's not part of the alliance. And I think she said that it was the perfect timing for her. And she was hoping that the alliance would stick together, meaning for this round to keep her in the house. I think that's what she meant. I don't think she meant like I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe she does want to have this alliance go far, but I give her more credit than that. I give all of them more credit besides friends than that because I think most of them were just like, yeah, we're gonna go for it. Like we're like 100% down with it. Like, yes, but I don't think any of them was like agreeing with it. Like
I,
internally, they
I
weren't really for it.
oh no, I noticed that right away. I think in my Alyssa, I think believes it's a real alliance. I also do think that Frenchie thinks that it's something real
Oh,
that he started.
Frenchie. I don't want to be rude or anything, but I feel like Frenchie is like in a whole nother galaxy at this point. He's in
He's in
his
a
own
totally different
world.
game.
He is. He has no like. I mean, unless we're not seeing something, I feel like he's really just out there. Like he thinks he's controlling the house. He thinks that he has all of these solid alliances that are going to keep him safe for weeks, and that he's kind of like the puppet master of everything. And it's like,
you have he definitely has a bad read of the house. I even wrote it down in my notes because y'all know I take notes. But on the side in big letters, I put worst HoH Frenchie. I mean, I think in a long time he is the worst HoH like in the last seasons.
Yeah, he just really took it everywhere. It's like it was just too much for 1 week, and it's just if he thinks that everybody's gonna forget about what he did in that first week, I don't think he has a really good read on it then, like at all, because people are not gonna forget. And then so he forms that alliance with all of those people called what was it called, the Slaughterhouse or something like that. And
yeah, so apparently it's gonna be like the Slaughterhouse, and then within the alliance, there's supposed to be a smaller alliance called the Butchers. Now I know this because I saw the live feeds. They didn't really talk about it in the show, but that is a thing.
Maybe they'll talk about it next episode.
Probably as it moves along.
Right.
And then moving a little bit further on, if you're ready to move on from the Slaughterhouse, we're going to jump into Frenchie's other alliance that he thought was the greatest decision of the game, to start an all-girl alliance it's either called the French Kisses or
I think it's called the French Kisses, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hilarious that he started an all-girl alliance and he's a guy.
Right. Yeah, and like I mean, all of them were like, okay, so why are we like? It's kind of ridiculous that like we're starting a girls' alliance, and the person that's starting it is a guy. Like it's kind of like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
and he's so confident over it too. Like that's the thing again. Like he's creating these alliances that he feels like he is gonna be able to stick around with, and like that everybody's just gonna like follow everything that he says. And nobody's falling for it.
Yeah, and it's like every single one of the alliance that this guy is creating in the confessionals, nobody really sees the legitimacy of any of these alliances.
Right.
Like they're all just like, okay, we're just agreeing to it just to keep you. Basically, I think they're doing it to keep them safe because since he's HoH.
Right. Exactly. Like they just agree. I think even Tiffany said she's like, yeah, I'm telling him that I'm down for it, but that doesn't mean that I am. You know what I mean? So she's like, yeah, of course I'm gonna say yes, let's do it, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna actually like consider it an alliance. So like nobody's falling for it.
Yeah.
So then that happens, and then I think Alyssa started talking about. I can't remember if she started campaigning. I don't think she really campaigned for votes, right? I think if anything, Travis was the one that kind of was doing it, right?
Well, and on Alyssa's part, she didn't campaign for votes, but her team did because they all they all went and had like a team meeting, which looking at the game at a bigger scale, they're really not using the teams much.
Not at all.
They're not sticking to their team. Today, the Queens got together because that's the group Alyssa's in, and they all agreed that they needed. Actually, no, I'm incorrect. The Queens wanted to get Alyssa out because they knew that if they got rid of Travis, the Queens were going to be down a number.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happened.
But so then, like, okay, so then when the what's it called, the votes came in, Kylan actually voted against his own team because Travis was in his team, and Kylan voted to evict him.
Yeah. So I believe. Yeah, he's the only one that went against the team because Alyssa couldn't vote and she's part of the team.
Right.
And then this is the point in time where we see this very fantastic birthday celebration
I knew
for
you were gonna
Oh God. Just a little heads up. Kylan just turned 30, so he's a little younger than you. So
just a few months.
Hey, still younger than you.
Yeah, by a few months.
But yeah, that little striptease that Travis did in order to try to like save himself, that was very entertaining.
It was entertaining.
he knows how to use his body to try to get what he wants. Like that worked very well
Like Kevin wasn't
for
doing
me.
it.
He was
He was really enjoying
definitely
it. So I was
was.
like, okay. I don't know how what his preferences are, but he seems to really be
I'm sure
enjoying
he's
it.
into both. I'm sure he's into both.
Probably. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, so that did buy him some maybe redeeming qualities, but it just wasn't enough. People just weren't really feeling him. And I mean, it being the first eviction, there wasn't really like a strong. I didn't feel like there was like a lot of reasons as to why they should get rid of Travis. It was just really thinking who's the bigger threat between Travis and Alyssa. Really, I mean, Alyssa's a big threat too in her own right, but I just think because Travis, I guess, is physically strong, they assumed that he was a bigger threat, or maybe because she was able to connect with more people, she had more votes. I don't know I'm assuming that's what it was, but again, I don't know if it's because Travis is a big threat. I don't know. I really don't know what the reason was behind it. Hold on.
I do think that they evicted Travis because he was a bigger threat, because he even went up to Brent and Frenchie in the HOH room, and he
Mm-hmm.
kind of made this campaign and talking about how he's loyal, and if they save him, he could be a potential loyal person to them. And also
Mm-hmm.
said that he feels like if they kept him, he was going to continue being like a block queen type thing. He didn't call it that, but he was going to say he was trying to make it seem like he was always going to be a threat, and that they were going to
Yeah.
nominate him.
Right.
It didn't work. Good
Right.
try, but it didn't work.
And I mean, to be honest with you though, like I don't. People might have assumed that he was a big threat because he's fit and all that stuff, but I mean, the last veto he wasn't doing too good. Remember, like I think was it Claire that was making fun of him? Like not making fun of him, but she was just like, "What is he doing?" Like he was so confused.
But yeah, but again, remember, he felt safe, so he really wasn't trying.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people can come off as like a threat, like physically or mentally, but sometimes they just aren't. Like that's just the impression they give off, but that doesn't mean they are. So like maybe he's just not. He wasn't. Like for example, as opposed to like Brent. Like Brent, for example, today in the HOH, like he was so close to winning. Like literally, I thought he was gonna win HOH.
That would have been
So
horrible. I was not ready for Brent HOH.
it would have been exciting, I think, because remember, like yesterday, we were talking about how like the only person that potentially can keep French safe would be Brent, and it was like, oh shit, is Brent about to win HOH, and now French like now has like an extra week because maybe Brent won't put him off. Like I don't know, like so it would have been kind of interesting
Uh,
to see, you know.
I guess you're right. I mean, that would have been interesting. The HOH that is current HOH now, it's still going to be interesting to watch. A lot of
Right,
things can happen here.
right.
But before we get into the HOH, I kind of do want to touch a little subject again on Travis. Was
Mm.
his very entertaining and funny speech to try to get people's votes. He took off his shirt, exposed a really nice body, kind of pulled down his pants a little bit, exposed a little bit of a V line. That would have vote Alyssa out by like
Oh
just by
god,
that.
so shallow.
I've, enough to like keep him in the house and seeing that V line. And he even mentioned, if you see stains on my bed, like it's shaving cream, I'd have been like, okay, let me keep you here so we can actually make good stains on your bed. Like, come on.
Stop, stop. Anyway, so it was an interesting speech that he gave, and then like he's entertaining. He's definitely an entertainer, and people were like entertained. But I just don't think that he wasn't it. I mean, if anything, he's just looks and that's it. Like there was, I don't know, just I don't think people were really buying it so much. Like I feel like Alyssa definitely has way more to offer. I mean, she's pretty and she has like a good personality. So like and she's more strategic. Like honestly, Travis isn't really strategic, so I can see why he just left. Like he's just not. He was just not gonna make it.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I could see it. All
but
right, so after we see him get evicted, obviously he goes out. He talks to Julie. His goodbye videos were kind of the normal.
right,
Sorry to see you go. What I did
yep,
find interesting is that Brent ended up telling him about the Slaughterhouse and the 8-person alliance. I found
yep.
that was the most revealing out of the goodbye speeches.
I don't think that alliance is gonna work at all. Like I mean, 8 people. Like I don't know. French is just a mess.
It's not. It's not, but
I mean, we'll see. We could be wrong, but I hope that it doesn't work, honestly, because I don't want this whole big group alliance. Like they've been doing so good for this to just go into a big group. I'm like, no, I don't see it. But
so
yeah. So
one person that we spoke yesterday about that hasn't really had any screen time was Brittany. And Brittany today during her vote, when she was about to cast her vote, she gave me really, really big Casey vibes from season 21, 20,
20.
21.
The one Casey from which one? The one that won?
Yes.
Yeah. So 20.
Yes.
Yeah, because
So
Mitch
she
won
gave
21.
me really big Casey vibes. And I was
Why?
kind of here for it. I don't know, her overexcitement, like the way she said Julie's name, it just gave me really big Casey vibes. It's nothing big,
Yeah.
nothing major, but just a little side note on Brittany.
Yeah. So okay. So then so I was gonna call him Tyler. Travis leaves, Alyssa stays, and then they have the HoH, and then Kylan wins, which is
Yeah,
super
so
exciting.
the I had a feeling that they were going to try to continue on BB22's thing of not making it live. It's definitely live because they ended up having technical difficulties. We had to get like a very quick back into commercials. So it's nice to see. It's nice to see that they have issues. Like it really,
It's kind of scary though because I feel like Julie's like on the spot. You know what I mean? Like she cannot mess up when she talks, and she's messed up a few times. And then like when things happen like that, it's like, what do you do after that? Like that's a lot of pressure, you know, like I don't know, that's crazy. But I mean, it is cool to see because even like after the what's it called, like the competition, like you get to talk to them a little bit. You know, like in the previous seasons, like the freaking credits start rolling in, and you don't really get to see Julie talking to them much. Well, this time you actually see her talking to them after like the competition, so you kind of see like a little bit of a more raw moment, you know, that it's not edited. So it's pretty cool. So
and then
that was nice.
yeah, it was. Speaking of the little HOH comp, it was very simple, mini kind of like putt type, mini golf type HOH. It just got harder as the numbers went. Like you said, Brent made it in early, and it looked like he was going to win the HOH until he met Kylan, and Kylan didn't made it in with a hard spot, which was very impressive.
It was.
And he ends
like,
up.
Yeah, and again, it just kind of goes back to like you can see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's still too early to say. But for example, like Brent making it, you know, even though he had an easy spot to go from, he still made it. You know what I mean? Alyssa made it, and then you have Kylan, who kind of like strategically positioned himself and then made it. And then Derek X, like I was like honestly, when he was the last one, I think he was the last one. I was like, this guy's gonna get it, because Derek has proven himself to be a compete. Like if nobody sees that, they should be scared of him because he is every competition that he's in, people should be afraid because he's gonna go on full on.
Yeah, I see that. I don't really want to call him a compete yet, but I do think he has good potential to be good at comps.
Yeah, and I really do think that he's a huge threat. Like I see it. Like That's crazy. Like if I was in that house, I would definitely be keeping my eyes on him. Like this guy, he's onto something. He's very quiet, but also very talkative. He's very non-threatening, but also very threatening. Like he's hard to read for sure. I feel like
Yeah.
so.
This week we see Kylan as HOH.
Mhm.
I forgive me, I don't remember what team he's on, but his team is also safe.
He's with Claire, so he's on Claire's team. So Claire, it was him, Claire, Travis,
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Hmm.
Is it?
So
Okay,
it's
so then
Claire.
and Alyssa are safe,
Hmm.
and then obviously Kylan. Hmm. That's a little bit tricky. So I guess today's not a super long episode, obviously, because we kind of just ran through it. But who do you think he's gonna nominate?
So I think he's going to try to get back at Frenchie because he's going to feel like he's already target. A lot of people weren't feeling him. He broke a lot of promises. So I do feel like Frenchie is going to be nominated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping. I don't know much right now, but I have to bring her up. I hope Whitney is sitting right next to him, just because she can be a threat, and I hope he sees that. And I haven't
Yeah.
really seen them talk.
Okay. I don't know. I definitely do agree that French is gonna go up unless he's able to do some type of damage control and then he doesn't go up. But then also maybe Kylan is gonna want to make him like a backdoor pawn. I really don't know. Like, seeing the thing about Kylan, like even though he's my favorite, I can't read him too well either. So I don't really know like if he with the girls, if he with certain people, like certain guys. Like, my instinct tells me maybe he's gonna go for like Christian and Xavier, just because they're the threat. But then it's also like I believe Xavier and Kylan are in an alliance. I don't see that happening. They're in that little cookout alliance.
Yeah.
I don't think that he would go for that. So I think Christian might. Okay, I think it's gonna be Christian and Frenchie. Now that I think about it, because Christian has become the common denominator in a sense. Like he was kind of the target, and then French is obviously the target. So I feel like for Kylan to be safe or to kind of play it cool, he's gonna go for two people that are like constantly talked about. And I think Alyssa's gonna like smartly distance herself from Christian a little bit and just kind of like go more towards Kylan or someone else. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that she can stick around with Christian. And it might be
Yeah,
better for
I
her,
agree.
honestly. Like it might be better because if Frenchie is trying to associate them together, but she doesn't feel that, then maybe it's better for her game two to get rid of Christian. Just so that way people don't link them together and it kind of removes the target off her back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, she has to. You're completely right. Like, she has to get away from it because if not, people are really going to think that something is going on.
Right. Yep. And she's smarter than that. She's 1,000% smarter than that. So she knows that. So she's like, honestly, like, okay, like just from my perception, I feel like Christian and Xavier both want her. Like they want her. But I think she is leaning more towards Xavier. Something just tells me, I don't know why. Like I said it last time, and I'll say it again. I feel like her and Xavier have a better connection than she does with Christian. So if there is a possible showman, I'm gonna say it's between Xavier and Alyssa. Like something tells me that it might develop into that. But I think they're kind of keeping it like very low key, like just chatting, very like not obvious.
Well, they have to because right now they know that people are looking for showmances. So it
Right,
wouldn't be
right,
great for her to put herself in that position.
right. So, but I think Christian is gonna kind of get on the way of that, so he needs to go. In terms of her game, she's like thinking like he probably needs to go. Like he gets in everybody's way kind of thing. You know what I mean? He's gonna get in
Mhm.
Kylan's way. He's gonna get in everybody's way. So he just kind of needs to go. If he doesn't go this time, it'll probably be Frenchie maybe. But then again, I don't know. Frenchie kind of just I don't know.
I don't see Frenchie in this game long term. Like, I don't see him in jury anymore.
I don't see him in jury, but I do see him maybe staying a few weeks just because I think that he's going to be the common target. And like, if anything, he can fall into like the pawn status. Because I mean, honestly, I think Kylan is going to put him up against Christian, but I think the real target is going to be Christian. Just because everybody already knows how French plays. So they're like, no one believes anything he says. He doesn't keep his promises. You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but that's just what it looks like to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, but we'll see. The next episode is going to be on Sunday. It's when we are going to see the actual lives be on TV. Knowing how live feeds works, me and Josh will probably know a little bit before then.
Yeah.
But
I'm just going to try and keep up with the live feeds this weekend to get more information and be like, okay, this is what happened.
Yeah, but we'll be back.
Yep. Alrighty then. Okay. So next time.
Till next time.